Good morning, it's Friday morning, and so today we're making challah. There are two ways that we make challah. One is by hand and one is using the bread machine. This is the option for making it by hand, though in the description for this video you'll see recipes for both. There'll be another video how to make it with the bread machine. There are 7 ingredients to make the challah: flour, sugar, oil, water, yeast, salt, and eggs. That's all you need. So we're going to begin by taking just your active dry yeast, and we take 2 teaspoons of the yeast, 2 heaping teaspoons, or 1 pack of yeast. We put it into the bowl, and with lukewarm water, we make sure that it's warm because it will activate the yeast. We put in 1 cup of water. Now, I like to use a little whisk to just whisk the yeast and the water together. And you want to give it about 5 minutes to get activated, and it'll start to bubble. In the meantime, you can prep the rest of your ingredients. So we have 2 eggs. We have 1 teaspoon of salt, which is ready to go here. We have a 1/2 cup of just plain old vegetable oil, a 1/2 cup or just under of sugar, and then 4 cups of flour. Now the first thing, once the yeast has been activated, that you're going to want to do is put the flour in. You can see I do a little less than a cup, a 1/2 cup of sugar. So when we're ready for the flour, this is 4 cups of flour. I use regular flour. If you want to use bread flour, you can. If you're using the bread machine, there is bread machine flour, but regular flour is just fine. And you just put the flour covering the liquid. Once you've done that, you put the rest of your ingredients on top. Oil, eggs. You want the salt to be the last ingredient so it doesn't activate the yeast. And then just take your regular spoon, mix all the ingredients together. You do not need to pre-mix the eggs. They will get mixed in the bowl. Once the ingredients start to mix together, the eggs start to break up, you're gonna need to get your hands dirty. So whether you do that just with plain hands or gloved, you're gonna be prepared to get it a little dirty. There is a custom when making challah that you think of people in need of prayers for healing. So obviously on this Friday, while we're all at home dealing with coronavirus, we want to think of the many people who are already ill from the virus, the families of those who have died. We want to think of our medical support and all those essential workers who are still putting themselves in harm's way in order to protect us. So you take the dough off, and then using your hands, you just punch down the dough. Now, if it's a little too wet, and this is where you have to gauge it, you might need to put a little extra flour in. I sometimes double or even quadruple the recipe, and the bigger you make it, the more extra flour you typically need. So you just kind of roll it in a motion. Again, a little extra flour if necessary, sometimes on the bottom of the bowl, just so it doesn't stick, and you can make a nice round ball. And then once you have this ball, it's gonna look like this. You just leave it on the bottom of your bowl. I tend to cover the bowl either with a cloth napkin or even a piece of saran wrap and let it rise. So we're gonna let it rise for at least an hour and we'll come back to you at that point. And we're back, it's been about an hour or so. I'm going to just punch down the dough, here it is. And we're just gonna literally move it around a little bit and then leave it in a dark, area, cover it and leave it for another hour or so. We'll come back in a little bit to punch it down one last time. We're back now. The challah dough has risen for quite a while. We're going to pop it out, it looks like this, onto a pan that has a little bit of flour on it. So we're just gonna take it, try to get the whole bit of dough, and we're going to just punch it down again one more time. Now, some people might have a dough cutter. It looks like this. You might have a plastic one. It just helps to be able to cut the dough. So this could be either one challah or two. I'm going to make 2 challahs out of this. So I'm going to do 2 equal pieces and then 3 strands each. So I'm going to, just like regular Play-Doh, I'm just going to roll these long, and if they're sticky, then you need a little bit more flour, and if they're not sticky, then you can just leave it. And we're just gonna braid. If you're someone who braids children's hair, then it's really just like braiding hair. So the best way to do this is just get them all ready for the braiding. Stretch them out as much as you can. Turn the tray, and we're gonna do 2 challahs with 3 braids each. There's 3 braids, 4 braids, 5 braids, 6 braids. There's round challah, but for today I'll show you how to just do 2 simple challahs. So you pinch at the top, the 3 together, but not too tight. You take the right one over the center, left one becomes the center, right one becomes the center, left one, and you just keep going all the way down, keeping it tight and close as you can. When you get to the end, you're going to just pinch them and then tuck it under. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other one. Right into the center, left into the center, all the way down, right, left, into the center each time. You want all 3 strands to be about equal. And when you get to the bottom, you pinch it and tuck it. Then what I like to do is turn the tray around and unpinch the ends so we can tighten them up a little bit. And you just, instead of going over, you go under. So you go under, into the center, under, pinch and tuck. And we're gonna do the last one, under and pinch and tuck. So we've got 2 nice chalot. If you decide to do just one, it'll be a bit larger, but traditionally we're supposed to have 2 challah on Shabbat. So we put these here, let it rise a little bit longer, you can cover it, and we'll show you what to do when we're ready to put it into the oven. So we're at the end of the process. We take 1 egg yolk, put it into the bowl with a tablespoon of water, mix it up so you have a nice consistency. And then we're going to just brush lightly the egg yolk on top of our challah. We've preheated the oven to 350 degrees, and we're just putting the egg wash on top. And then as soon as you finish with the egg wash on top, we will put this in the oven at 350 degrees. They bake for approximately 25 to 30 minutes depending on your oven. If you would like, after 10 minutes, you're welcome to take it out and just fill in the white cracks of the dough with a little egg, so the whole thing will look like it's covered with the egg wash. And then you will have beautiful. So here we are, approximately 25 minutes later. Our chalot are finished. They're brown and golden. And if you want to, just make sure when they come out of the oven that you get it off the pan before it sticks. Either put it on a cooling rack, on a challah plate, or you can simply just make sure that it's not sticking to your pan, and you are ready for Shabbat.